We've got Not Shabam and Dr. Applesauce later, but right now, are you excited for Troy? Yeah! Who's seeing the Last of Us TV show? Oh my gosh. Who has played the first game? Wow, okay. Who's played the second game? Okay, don't spoil anything for anyone who hasn't, okay? All right, guys, we are gonna bring Troy out right now, guys. Give it up for TroyBaker. Keep giving it up for TroyBaker. There he is, all right.
Ta-da! This is the thing about being an actor. I constantly need direction. So if I'm not told you need to be over here, I'll never be there. I was wandering through there aimlessly like 30 seconds ago.
Oh, you made it up. Oh, sorry. You made it up here. I'm not a clicker. I did see a couple. Oh,
this is not water.
You see the two clickers right there?
Well, I gotta kill it.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
You make a shift. How would you kill a clicker?
I would run away. I wouldn't kill them. I would be too terrified.
HBO asked me a question once. They said, I was doing some press or whatever for them, and they said, if you were bitten, would you wait to turn? And I was like, I would never be bitten. I would have died long ago. I was like, this is cashmere. I'm not making it through. I'm not a brutal survivor. It's acting. There's a character.
Yeah. So Troy.
Yes. Got one right.
It is crazy right now, right?
Everything. I mean, the weather is a little weird.
Yeah.
Oh, because of the show.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So, anybody watching The Last of Us right now? Yeah. Well, you should be watching it right now because I'm talking on stage. It's incredibly rude. These jokes are just dying on the stage right there. I love that this isn't a mic to ask questions. This is like an executioner's ring. It's like, stand forward and recognized. It is insane right now. Never before can I think of, I don't know how to open bottles. There we go, Jesus. Anytime I find a water bottle that's a little too filled up, I'm like, 10% peat.
Oh yeah.
Somebody peed in that. And that's yours.
Just for you.
So, never before in history can I think of a game that was adapted first into a movie, that didn't work out, and then adapted into a show that then the original actor got to be in, and both of those things were phenomenally successful. Like, even the closest I can think of is, did anybody watch Les Mis, the movie? Okay, 3 people, awesome. Crushed it at the box office. The play, the musical, phenomenally successful. One of the longest running productions in London and in New York. The movie, I mean, it did okay. Russell Crowe's tone deaf singing notwithstanding. But did you know that the original Jean Valjean played the priest that Jean Valjean steals a candlestick from in the movie? Anybody know that? Nobody knew that! That's the closest analog I can think of the Joel from the video game being somebody, but a different character in another thing. So this has been incredible, being able to, even this weekend, talk to you guys about watching the show, what it means to you, how much you've enjoyed it, how much you've cried, which we all have.
We all have.
Has been truly phenomenal. And it's been a very, you hear this a lot, it's been a very humbling experience. And the reason why it's been humbling is I realize this story, the second that we put it out in the open, it became something bigger than us. And more than the sales, there's been a lot. More than the awards, there's been a lot. Has been the stories that you guys shared with me, with Neil, with Ashley. Those are the best accolades and the best evidence that this is one of the best stories that's ever been told, ever. So I want to thank you guys for that. I could ramble on, as I already have. We talked about weather, urine,
Yes. Les Mis.
Les Mis,
Yes.
kind of the basics, right? But I want to hear what's on your mind. So let's just spend this time hearing from you guys. There's chairs.
Yeah, there's a few chairs if anybody
Hardcore.
wants.
We're like, we're pumped. We don't sit. Oh, you mean butt prisons? No, we don't sit in those.
Like, if anybody has a question, feel free to line up.
If you don't, I'm just gonna ramble.
If
It's
not-
gonna get weird.
If not, I'll give Troy a prompt. We'll see how long he can go on any random word.
This is when I get in my idol. Shiv.
Yeah, there we go. Click.
Click. All right, brave one.
There we go. All right.
How you doing, Troy?
Whisper it. Don't let them hear.
I'm sure everybody's curious. Who's your favorite character that you voiced?
Impossible. Sit down. Take that microphone. Somebody put that microphone back down. That's impossible to, like, this is weird. It's a weird place to put that microphone. Can we move it? Or is that like a safety hazard? Let's hear it for our grips. There we go.
Thank you.
It's so weird. Dude, I don't know. You can sit down. I won't be standing for a while. It's probably the number two question that I get asked is what my favorite is, and it's impossible to say because I've done so much. For me, it's about finding what is my favorite thing about that role. I've told this story a lot. Some of you have brought it up this weekend. In November of 2009, I think, I got a call from my agent saying, hey, I know you wanted to audition for this game company. I got you an audition. They're doing this new project. It's for the lead role. I was like, slam dunk. And she says, I'm sending the materials to your email. Let me know when you get it. And I open it up and I look at the character description, including a character model. And I got instantly so mad because I was like, I'm not right for this guy at all. It was for this smuggler in this post-apocalyptic world, and he was this ruthless survivor. And I'm like, dude, come on. I go to the audition, and I walk into the production office that is next to the soundstage where we're going to be filming. And I immediately walk in, and in every chair in the waiting room is sat the guy, the person that you're gonna cast. Looks the part, people wearing flannel, just like nailed it. Some guy even had like blood on his face. I think it wasn't real, but I don't know. And I immediately get filled with fear, doubt, just a cocktail of bad emotions. And I realized that next to me is the sign-in sheet, and I haven't signed in yet, which lets them know I'm here and waiting for my turn. And I go, I could leave now and nobody would know. And so I literally reach behind me and put my hand on the door, twist the knob, and I'm turning to walk out when I hear, Troy? She's like, they're ready for you. I'm like, okay, let's go. And she ushers me in, and I walk into the soundstage, and there is Neil and Bruce from Naughty Dog. And I'm immediately just like, I don't know what I'm meant to do. I came this close to walking out on that audition because of my arrogance, because I didn't think that I was right for the choice. And what's funny is that Neil initially scratched my name out, and then Gordon Hunt, who at the time was going to be the director, said, go one more time, and I just want to give you one little note. And he gave me some note, I don't even know what it was. He went for it again, and Neil goes, circle. And that's how I became Joel. But think about the decisions in your life. Nobody knew what The Last of Us was going to be. Nobody knew it was going to be an HBO show. Nobody knew it was going to be a successful game. It wasn't, I hadn't even heard the story yet. I just knew two components about it. This close to missing out on literally something that changed my life and one of the greatest things I've ever been a part of. So, there's that, and then I got to be the Joker. So I mean, how do I choose between those two things? So it's about finding out my favorite thing. So with that specifically, it's the lessons that I've learned and it's the stories that I've been a part of. That's my favorite thing about that. That's how long it took to answer one question. Are you ready? This is my Postmates. Sorry, thank you.
Troy, I
I'm
got
great.
a question.
Go.
As I'm going to be a father soon and stuff like that. So Troy's like not Troy, Joel. Joel's like a big like inspiration for me because I'm about to be a father and
Okay.
watching him go through the show and stuff like that. But just a personal question: what does Joel mean to you? Like as a father and as a being and just being like in general, like what does the character mean to you?
Man, first of all, congratulations, man. It is, yeah, absolutely. I remember telling my wife before we were married, we first started dating, I was like, look, you need to know we're not getting married and we're never having kids. 10 years in, 4 years old. And she knew, she was like, okay, she knew I was full of it. It has been the greatest role I've ever had. That's what I should have answered. Was my favorite role? Being a dad. That's my favorite role ever. It is the most challenging in the best way. He's the coolest kid. No offense. What Joel has taught me is you can't live your life in fear. And there's this thing that I bet you'll do. I'm gonna try to get through this without crying. How many dads here right now? Boom, boom, boom. Did you count their fingers and toes? Yes. It's the stupidest thing. It makes no sense. But I remember counting his first thing, counting his fingers and toes. And the thing about it was not because I was hoping that all of his digits were intact. There's this thing that said, please let the worst part of me not be passed down to him. Let me somehow be the sin eater for all of my mistakes and all the bad in me, and let me somehow hold on to that, because I don't want to be defined by the worst version of myself. Let him be something new. And the thing that I learned from Joel is that the longer that I hold on to that fear, the further it keeps me from being in relationship with the one that I want to be in relationship with. Joel is the one who can't let go of a mistake. And he holds on to that for 5 years. First 20, and then 5. So what have I learned from Joel about being a dad? First of all, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Secondly, it's okay to be afraid of the love that you have for them, because it is terrifying. The thing that I can tell you from me is being a dad. Be patient with yourself. Is your wife? Okay, she's 9 months ahead of you, bro. And also millions of years have gone into planning her to be what her role is. Don't try to be her, just try to be you. Day one, you're 9 months behind her, and that's cool. Give yourself time to get to know, son or daughter? Daughter. Whatever that human is, right? Just give yourself time to get to know them and love them in your own unique way. And don't anybody tell you how you should be a dad, including me, all right? I wish you the best, man. Give it up for him, please. It's Sunday, we're getting deep and stuff. All right. Who else? Go for it. Yes!
This is a quick question. If you could voice Espio the Chameleon from the Sonic games again, would you?
Yes. Great answer, great question. Moving on.
Very good. Yes, go ahead.
Only to have a one-up on Roger. Craig Smith. Roger Craig Smith, you're double parked. Roger Craig Smith. Would Roger Craig Smith please report to security? 2 uniformed officials would like to speak with you. Sucks they can't hear me. Yes, dear.
Hi, when filming Alaska, do you have a favorite moment from set?
Part 1 or part 2?
The show.
Over the show? How can I not tell you? I don't want to spoil anything. The first shot. Oh, actually, how about this? This is even better. There's two. I'm gonna split the ticket. So, my first day on set, there's this thing called base camp. Base camp is where all of the trailers are. That's where like the second AD who runs base camp and makes sure all the actors and crew are where they're supposed to be. That's where Transpo will drop you off. You have a trailer there, and then you kind of wait there. And then whenever it's ready, time for you to go to set, somebody picks you up and takes you to where set is. Sometimes it's going to be right next to base camp. Other times it's going to be like we're driving 20 minutes to base camp. So I get to base camp and they're like, here's your trailer and there's some breakfast over here if you want. I'm like, sure. So I'm walking and then all of a sudden this trailer door opens up and this brunette in a red t-shirt comes walking out and looks at me. And I'm like, huh, that's Ellie. Like, it was weird for me. I've seen a lot of cosplayers, really, really good cosplayers. I spent years in front of Ashley in a weird suit, but that was Ellie. It's the first time she had a little cut right here, a little bitch right here, and I was like, what? You're Ellie! And I got caught looking, I was like, huh. And I stood there. Not a cool thing to do. If she didn't know who I was, which thankfully she did, it would have been like, security. I could have just got to go, ugh. I was like, I'm so sorry, you're just blowing my mind. She's like, oh, it's all right, how are you? I'm like, you're Bella Ramsey. She's like, you're TroyBaker. And we had this beautiful moment. And for me, that was the first time for me to see Ellie not on a screen. And it blew my mind. Bella is doing such a good job. Such a good job. I can't wait for you to watch tonight. Because what Bella does tonight, it's an Ellie episode. and Pedro does an incredible job as well. There's some stuff that Pedro will do in tonight's episode that I'm like, it's a good choice. Pedro, we had not met. I'm having dinner, and I see him pass by. We're staying in a very small location, and he's passing by, and he kind of does one of these. So he comes in, he's standing there, and I'm standing here, and he goes, we're just both awkward. I was like, come here, dude, give me a hug. He gave me a hug, and I just looked at him and I said, I have so many questions for you. And he goes, I have none for you. And that started our friendship. He has been one of the most gracious, caring. I could not have envisioned two more loving and protective hands in which to place Joel. And that's all that I cared about. I just wanted someone to care about Joel as much as I did. And please teach me something that I missed. What did I miss? Is there some board I didn't look under? Is there some stone I didn't turn over that reveals something new about Joel? And damn if Pedro doesn't do it every episode, including tonight. So be watching tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. Go ahead. Yes, make the long walk.
In Uncharted 4, what was your favorite part about playing Sandra?
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. So, before every shoot, did you hear the question? Okay. Before every shoot, we would come in and we would rehearse the scenes, and we would start off by doing a table read, just reading through the scripts with everybody. So we're about, first of all, the first time I was ever on set, Nolan was a friend at this point, but I was such a fan of Uncharted, and I found myself, I just caught Michael Myers out of my periphery, and it scared the shit out of me. I was just like, to this day, it's amazing what a bleached out Shatner mask can do to everybody. So, when I found myself on stage, I knew Richard McGonigal, and I knew Emily Rose, and I knew Nolan North, but the second that all of a sudden they're in a scene, it was like, that is Sully, Nate, and Elena, and it freaked me out. But we've been shooting for, 3 or 4 shoots have gone by, and we're doing the table read, and I had done this thing where anytime it said Nate, I just switched it to Nathan. Wasn't in the script, just something that I did. And so it's like, Nathan, we gotta make sure that we do this. And he goes, you know what, buddy? Nobody calls me Nathan. And I just looked at him, he goes, oh, that's good. Oh, that's good, because he realized that's what a big brother does. Just needles his little, just a little thing to keep it under my thumb. And it's moments like that that I appreciate creators and actors that allow for there to be some new life, some spontaneity, and to play in it. And you can see it in a lot of the scenes that we do early on. He's like, Nathan, he's like, don't call me that. So having those moments, it's all of the moments between filming that are my favorite. Jokes that will never, ever be made public between Nolan and I, or our careers are done. It's one of the greatest moments of my life. Like working on that series and being able to play that role, incredible. And Nolan remains one of my closest friends to this day. He's a good dude, good dude. What else we got, Austin?
We got time for one more question.
Uno más? Fight to the death. Go.
Go, fight.
Jesus, they were serious. I love that everybody taps in.
So when you were doing Joker,
Yes.
you were trying to do Mark Hamill impression, and with Joker, how would you see his interaction with pain?
So another audition story. I walked into an audition at a studio. They were not telling us what the project was, nor were they telling us what the character was. You didn't get any materials until you got there, signed in, and they were like, here you go, you got a few minutes, so go over this. I was like, all right, so I looked over and I was like, okay, well, do you guys want like a young Mark Hamill? Are you going more Heath Ledger? And they're like, well, whatever are you talking about? I was like, well, this is clearly Joker. And they're like, no, well, it says that it's Joker. I'm like, this is from Batman the Animated Series, and this is from Dark Knight, and this is the Tunnel of Love monologue from Killing Joke. So it's clearly the Joker. They're like, let's just suppose that it was a young Mark Hamill. Like, what would that sound like? I thought they were about to drop the beat. What was that? What just happened? Okay.
It's God.
God? Oh. There is no God. That answers that question. So, I had never done the Joker, ever. I just did what I thought the Joker that I had always read in the comic books and what I loved watching growing up, which was Batman animated series, sounded like, and it just sort of came out. And I was like, boop, that's it. So they asked me what I wanted to start with, and I was like, Tunnel of Love monologue. And that was it. David, please, whatever they're needing you to do it now. So, I get done, I leave, never gonna get it, because they're gonna get Mark Hamill. They're just, I feel like it was a bargaining chip. They're gonna get Mark Hamill. And before you know it, they bring me in. And I had said no twice. I said no when they were gonna offer it to me, and then they called my agent again. They were like, we want to offer Troy the role. And at the time, the vice president of Warner Brothers Games brought me into his office, and he was like, he showed me my audition, which is a terrible thing to do. And he was like, we think that's really good. I'm like, that's great. And he goes, no, you don't get it. We think that's really good, and we're really smart. So why are you saying no? And I told him I was afraid. I was afraid that I was going to be bad. Twice that I almost said no to an incredible role. And he goes, oh, is that it? We're not going to let you be bad. We're going to spend millions of dollars on this game. We're going to make sure it's good. So I go in, I do my thing, and every session, it was almost like Princess Bride. It was like, good job, Troy. Sleep well, most likely fire you in the morning. And Roger and I both, it wasn't until we were in London about to walk on stage when they said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present our Batman and our Joker. We were like, wait for it. Roger Craig Smith and TroyBaker were like, no shit, they actually kept us. And we walked out on stage. We thought it was going to be Kevin and Mark. But it wasn't about doing an impression. To me, Mark is just, that's what the Joker sounds like, man. And to this day, and forever will be, and Roger will admit this as well, and I love Roger's Batman. I think he should be the heir apparent. There will always, always be the best, and that's Kevin Conroy. Always, always. So, let that be a lesson to you again. It's 2 times, man. Do not let fear be the reason you don't do something. If more than likely, if you're afraid of it, that means you have to do it. You kind of got to do it. But to your final point, and I'm going to go back to the table for a couple hours, and we're going to get out of here. We all see you. If I make myself smaller, at least you are a big dude. Harder to hide. This doesn't do anything. It's great. I love that you know I'm big too. That was awesome. I think that Payne, in all of his complexity, all of his pathos, all of his experience, all of his hurt, all of his pain, would look at the Joker and say, "Almighty push!" And the Joker would look at him and go, "That's cute, buddy." Thank you guys for spending time with me on this Sunday. Appreciate you very much. I'll see you over here. If not, I'll see you soon. You've been very kind. Thank you.
Guys, give it up for Troy. All right, Troy will be at his booth if you want to have any other questions or signatures. Be sure to go over to that way, or to my stage left, which is your right, and we're going to have